hosted by the American Athletic Conference. As a reminder, your lines are currently muted and will be open at the end of the formal presentation for a live question and answer session. I am pleased to introduce your conference host today, Chuck Sullivan, Director of Communications. Please go ahead, sir.
Thank you, Jamie. Good morning, everyone, and welcome to our sixth of our 13 weekly teleconferences that will feature our 12 conference head coaches. As a reminder to those who have not been with us previously, we'll have each coach with us for approximately 10 minutes. We'll ask each to give an opening statement, and then we'll prompt for questions. To ask a question of a particular coach, just remember to hit *1 on your telephone keypad to join the queue, and then we'll introduce you in the order in which the prompt is received. And as time permits, we'll get through our weekly honors. But in the meantime, since we do have Coach Niumatalolo from Navy on the call, we'll get started. The midshipmen are 4-0 overall, 2-0 in the American Athletic Conference. Navy was in action this past Saturday against Air Force, and Navy won the game 33-11. Up next for Navy will be this Saturday at Notre Dame. That will be a 3:30 p.m. Eastern Time start. The game will be televised on NBC. Coach, thank you for joining us on the call this morning. If you take a minute to tie up the win against Air Force, the first step in the Commander-in-Chief's Trophy Series, and tell us what you expect to see as you head to South Bend to face Notre Dame, please.
Thank you, Chuck. Well, yeah, we're really excited as a football program to be able to, beat one of our rivals. That game is always a very big game for our program. And, I thought we played really, really well. So it's exciting just to play one of your rivals in a service academy game, and to be able to, to win that game is definitely a great accomplishment for our seniors, our captains. But proud of the way they prepared. It was a game that they, were looking forward to. And just grateful that we were able to come out of there with the W. And as we, move on to South Bend, we obviously know their program very well. Just they're Notre Dame. I mean, they're a really good football team. Always have been. Coach Kelly's an unbelievable coach. Watching their game on TV last night. On Saturday, I had a chance to watch it, the TV copy, actually right after our game, and I thought they had a ton of chances to win the game. And obviously the wet conditions, they probably dropped some passes that they normally catch, but they still had, really good football team. And we're going to have our hands full, like we do every year. This is a tough game for us, but it's going to be a great challenge for our football program.
We'll take questions for Coach Niumatalolo. Please hit *1 on your telephone to join the queue, and then the operator will introduce you.
We'll take our first question from Tom Coyne with the Associated Press.
Yeah, Coach, I want to see what you thought as far as Notre Dame against Georgia Tech. You already saw what they do against the option, or what they did against them. Does that help you at all get ready for this game?
Well, I think it helps both of us. Obviously they got, their coach Van Gordon and them have their plans. And, obviously reading some of the articles, after their game versus Georgia Tech, they spend a lot of time on option stuff to get ready for Georgia Tech, and obviously they play us. Thought they had a really good plan. They played really well against Georgia Tech. Obviously, a lot of guys on our staff, Coach Jasper and myself, Coach Cohn. There's a few of us that learned from Coach Johnson, who I think is the best option guy in the country, and they played really well against them. So, so I know they spent some time and feel good about their plan. And so it helps them because their kids will be familiar with it. Sometimes you play people and, it'd be 8 games. It might be the only option team you see, so you're going against conventional people for 11 weeks, and then you play us. But having played against us will definitely be a benefit for them. But it also helps us, too, because we can kind of see some of their thoughts and some of the things that they try to do against Georgia Tech.
I'm just curious, starting 5-0, do you think your team should be ranked at this point?
I don't worry about that, Tom. We're the Naval Academy. We just try to do the best we can, work as hard as we can, and just let the other stuff, it is what it is. We don't worry about that. All we can do is try to control what we can control, and that's on the field. And, fortunately, we're playing very well right now, but we're also going to play the best team on our schedule right now. So, we just got to get ready for, the best team that we're going to play all year.
Last question for me. Keenan Reynolds obviously has the offense going pretty well. What what makes him so good at running that option offense?
Well, I've always said this, just his decision-making. He's a guy that's able to, see what the defense is doing. He always gets us in the right play, so that's definitely a comfort, as a coach, knowing that your quarterback's always going to get you into the right play. He always gets the ball to the right person, so it make sure that you got the proper angles that you want to get. Notre Dame tried a lot of different fronts against, Georgia Tech, and it was successful. And, hopefully for us that we got a veteran quarterback that's seen it all, so that, we can get our right plays if they're trying to shift around and try to do a bunch of different fronts. We have a guy that's seen everything.
Thank you.
We'll take our next question from Dan Tortora with Dan Tortora Broadcast Media.
Hi, Coach. How you doing this morning?
Hey, Dan.
Obviously Keenan Reynolds is the guy that's going to be talked about a lot, but defensively, to go up into this game that you have coming up in Notre Dame, just what you can say about some of those defensive players that you're leaning on a little bit and some of the leadership that's there, knowing that when Notre Dame can get going, they get going fast. Who do you have there that you really trust to stop them moving forward?
Well, it's going to be tough. We've struggled against them. We're playing as good as we've played on defense in a long time right now, but we also know we're going to play a team that, quite frankly, we've had a hard time making them punt the last couple of years. They've been a hard team to stop, and so it's going to be tough. We're playing pretty good, like I said, on defense, but we also know we're getting ready to play Notre Dame that, Coach Kelly, I believe, is one of the best, offensive minds, head coach, play caller that there is around. They always have good schemes. They got good players. It puts you in a lot of different binds. And it's going to be tough. That's just the way. I like the way we're playing, but our guys recognize, we're going to play against a very potent offense.
When you look at your offense and with everything that Keenan's done, what are some of the other things that you've tried to key in on? Obviously, the option is what you do, and it's become very important, but that offensive line that you have and the protection of Keenan, can you talk about that a little bit? Because I feel like sometimes offensive lines don't always get the respect they deserve.
Well, our offensive line is playing really well. Like you said, E.K. Benz came back from an injury and had one of his better games. Joey Gaston at left tackle has been solid the whole year. We got back Blaze Ryder. He's been playing on sporadic, kind of play count, but he was able to play pretty much the whole game. Ben Tamburello and Robert Lindsey been playing really well, along with Brandon Green at center. Just kind of been sparing with Blaze, and so really happy with the way they're playing. But like I said, we're getting ready to play a team that's really good on defense too, and so they're doing a lot of good things. We just got to continue to keep plugging away.
Thanks, Coach. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
We'll next go to Mike Ferrell with South Bend Tribune.
Hey, Coach. Notre Dame, thus far offensively has hit on a ton of big plays, and I know that you guys have been one of the best so far defensively in being able to limit those big plays. What has been kind of the key for your defense in being able to keep the ball in front of you thus far?
Well, it's like any defense. You try to do your best with your eyes just to make sure your keys are right. Don't get balls thrown over your head, and just trust your keys. What Notre Dame over the years given us trouble because they mash us with the football, and so you got to get your safeties involved. Then they throw it over our heads. And so it's a tough combination for us. We got to get people involved in the run because they're big and massive, and a lot of their zone stuff, they just kind of gobble us up inside. So we got to try to get extra hats to the ball, and that leaves our guys on the edge on an island, and they've been able to exploit us. And so it's always a tough matchup. If we don't get people involved, they just run it down our throats. And when we do get our guys involved, they throw it over our heads. So it's kind of pick your poison.
To that point, do you feel like you guys, with the way that you're playing right now, are better suited to match that than you have been in the past?
I don't know, because like I said, this is a different animal. We realize with Notre Dame, Just this is by far the best team that we're going to play this whole year. And so, we know them so well. I always hate watching tape because I watched them on tape. They go, well, they don't look as big this year, and then you get to see them in person. Like, I was wrong; they're bigger than I thought. So, it's going to be hard. It's going to be hard. Like I said, I think we're playing well, but we know who we are and we know who they are.
Thank you.
Thank you.
We'll go next to Bill Wagner with Baltimore Sun Media.
Hey, Kenny. The one thing that did stand out to me watching the Clemson game on Saturday night was the overall team speed on offense. They got receivers and pro side. It's just guys everywhere. Is that a big concern, the overall speed they have at the skill positions?
Yeah, they're definitely very skilled. They got speed everywhere, big linemen. Like I said, it just, it was a tough game for both teams, for Clemson and Notre Dame, as far as handling the ball. It looked like, a lot of rain. And so there's a lot of passes that, they had an opportunity to complete, but they dropped. In normal conditions, they're going to catch those. And so, it was a tough game to watch just from the standpoint, how fast they are. And like I said, Coach Kelly does a great job of getting them in the right position, gets them the ball, gets his playmakers the ball. Like I said, we're grateful for it was a great win, but then you turn on the tape and you're like, it's playing normal Notre Dame, a really good football team that's going to be hard for us to contend with.
Coach, well, thank you for your time this morning. We look forward to talking to you again next Monday.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, that is Coach Ken Niumatalolo from